Just
You got a coach, right? I've been really thinking about it.
Oh, he's dope.
I'll talk to you after.
Yeah, he's dope. Aiden.
Hello.
Are we live?
We're live.
Oh, what's up? All right, guys. Today we are going to get into why I'm losing my mind. We just spent hour 40 something minutes going over what could be the start of a partial housing market collapse. Is that too clickbaity?
That feels really clickbaity.
I wanted to ask that in there.
But I feel like that's also fair. Partial.
DT, what do you think the chances that this could be the first dominoes of at least a condo market collapse?
I don't like that word collapse, but I think
He says, I don't like that word,
Collapse.
but this could certainly be some correction happening under our feet. My highly trusted advisor in the back. All right, but first we're going to get into a couple of things. First, our client testimonials. As always, go to coreteamhawaii.com if you have real estate needs, but I'll show you that website in a minute. Are we doing Kenny or Mahi and Aiden? All right, let's do the Mahi and Aiden one because I'm on that screen. So Felix says, I think the communication is very great. Even the strategy and sharing of why we are pursuing those strategies and the conversation around those strategies really help the buying process. Derek and his team have been very valuable in giving us their insight. And these are our client testimonials that happen usually intra-escrow. So whenever you heat up and now we're writing offers or now your home is on the market and we're actively helping you, my assistant will call every 1 to 2 weeks. And you can tell us like, hey, just once or twice during the whole process is fine for me. Don't do it again. But it's a way that we audit the process. If there's anything needed, if you need a conversation with me and you and I haven't spoken for a while, then we do that. So it ends up being a bit of a review sometimes because our clients are, like a 5-star review because our clients are so satisfied and we just kind of brag and share those here. For this one though, I think the strategies, like can you allude to what he's talking about when he's saying we're explained why we're doing certain things and what we're doing. So I
can a little bit,
right?
but that's mostly what it is. So we have to be smart when we're contingent, meaning not everybody knows what that means. That means basically you're selling a house and your funds to close on the home you're purchasing are contingent upon the sale of your other house elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
you're weaker.
So your offers are weaker, and we're always
just
very
inherently
transparent.
weaker, yeah.
We always are like, hey, gonna keep it real. Your offer, if we're in competition, you're weak. Your offer is weak compared to somebody who can come in who has their money liquid and ready to go.
So there might be times where I think this is what's happened with Felix is like, hey, I don't think we should offer on this one yet because there's no chance they're gonna accept you right away. And if anything, they'll use your offer to leverage up and get another offer accepted. Right. So let's see if we can have that listing chill for a week or two.
Yeah.
And then let's come in. Plus, then you on your mainland home will be less contingent. So you will have been further along in your escrow process. You're not at that sweet spot to pursue this very competitive thing. Those conversations have happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Some crafty stuff. Sorry, I'm like trying to get a good height on this mic and everyone's watching me struggle. All right. Let's do the Kenny one. I really do believe that Kenny clearly understands the real estate goal that we have set up to accomplish together. He communicates with me any time of day. Alan G. Congrats.
Yes,
Applause,
good job, Kenny.
Who's behind the camera over there. In our old studio with our cool painted background.
We did have a nice wall.
Oh, my God.
It's okay.
That's all right. We're coming back up.
Yeah.
I got some things working. Great job, Kenny, on that one. Okay. All right, always have to plug, but wait, don't go there yet.
Why is everything so small on your page?
Well, because my thing's plugged in, but why is it not here now? Okay, there we go. Kenji can go to my computer. Go to coreteamhawaii.com. And
scroll.
If you want to know, all the cool things about real estate, you have any needs, you're moving. It's been cool. We've had more local people calling us recently, whether to sell or to buy. People here on the island who are like, I watched the channel. It's not that I'm moving, but it's that you guys seem like you know what you're talking about. You seem skilled. You seem like someone we want to work with. So fill out this contact form. Our assistant is on Sunday through Thursday. So usually she'll call you back within minutes, if not within the hour on Sunday through Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday, one of us try to catch it. But go to the contact form at the very bottom. You can also hit book a call in the top right if you prefer. You don't use this email, but my web provider kind of has this thing stuck there. Maybe I'll take that down eventually. But and for those who aren't in the know, you can click on these things on the map here, and actually there are hyperlinks to videos that aren't on our YouTube channel. These are.
I forget that those are there.
I've gone back recently and looked at one or two to say, what did we say?
I don't know. Those were kind of a while ago.
So we talk about Aiea, we talk about Kaneohe, we talk about Kailua for just a few minutes and describe the different neighborhoods, right?
And this is just a sneaky peeky. So, go take a look.
Sneaky link, spicy link.
But scroll to the bottom because we can obviously get way more in depth. You don't want just a 2-3 minute thing on each thing, but it's a good little starting point to go check them out.
Hey, the video you did, the Core Ridge video is hitting pretty hard.
I haven't watched it yet, but
don't lie.
I haven't. I did read the comments.
All of her own videos.
I always read the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you. A couple people said I'm cute, so I'll take it because I feel real chubby right now. So I was like, 7 people this.
I deleted one of them who said it in a less tasteful way.
Oh, okay.
And then another one was hey, respectfully, mahe, whatever.
Thank you. Thanks for the ego boost.
How come I don't get any aunties telling me? How come I don't get no aunties telling me? Hey.
Do you?
No, I don't.
I don't know.
That's all right.
Because Michelle's been on the channel.
Yeah. And women are just less gross than men. So the Core Ridge video is doing good. Core Ridge is here, I'll go on the map here.
And we hadn't done a Core Ridge video yet, so it was overdue.
It was overdue.
But the problem with Core Ridge is that it's right now it's just a lot of spewing information because there's not a lot that's built up yet.
Yeah.
So it's we kind of wanted to wait a little while so that we'd have more to present and more to walk around and show you. Right now it's a lot of renderings. Right now it's a lot of here's the model for what that's going to look like. But we have enough interest in Core Ridge and people wanting to know about the community, and there's enough not known about the community where it's okay, we should do a video because there's some stuff that I even learned yesterday. I'm doing 4 deals in there right now, and there are a couple of things I didn't even know.
Really? What? What'd you learn?
I learned that there's the 55 plus community, Meheula Vistas.
Okay.
But it's going to be there, and it's Koa Vistas, and it's not by Castle and Cook, but it's within the Core Ridge community.
Okay.
So I think that's really awesome. That's really cool. Also, just the things that it's going to be, I feel a lot more. Their thing is suburban urban, that's their
suburban urban.
Yeah, but they made a word out of it,
suburban.
No, suburban. No, that doesn't
suburban.
Something. No, it was more. It's more melded than that. But that's the thing.
Surban.
It's Surban. I don't like it.
I'm pretty sure that's a country.
Yeah, that's do you mean Serbia?
Yeah.
Serbian. But yeah, that's their. It's just nothing's we talk about, it's just so boring. There's nothing there. I'm yeah, correct. But 10 years from now when it's all built up, there's going to be choke stuff in there.
There's going to be what?
Choke stuff. There's going to be so much stuff.
This is moving to Hawaii Pigeon edition. I'm trying to scroll here. All right.
What?
So if Kenji can go to my screen. My wife and I are literally considering upgrading to a newer home, a bigger home. Newer is not the priority, but something bigger. We live in a pretty small home. We live well below our means. It'd be nice to have a bigger home that we can. We've been playing spades with the family a lot.
Oh,
you ever
really?
play spades?
I forget how to play already. It's been so long.
Spades. I know Kenji plays spades. We've been playing spades, have the family over, and our house is just so small, it's uncomfortable. So we're thinking about a bigger home. And so I took my wife here to Koa Ridge, and those just re-uttering the things that you just said, she was there's nothing here. It's just red dirt.
But if you look at the master plan, the little area that they've built is so small, for what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, look at that footprint. They've maybe hit 20%. It's
all the way from Cam Highway, maybe 20%.
Not maybe.
It's from Cam Highway all the way. to what you call?
It's gonna be like a whole Merilani, right?
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
And there's like a medical campus with medical campus, that's either urgent care or like a bunch of doctor's offices, not a hospital.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing.
Schools.
There's like
shops.
Schools. They're not just shops. There's like a whole, like they're starting to sell now the commercial like district of it, like the commercial business park or whatever it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's going to be a big, what do you call it? Box store. They don't know which one yet, but that's like a Target.
Like a Target type thing?
Like a Target. So that's where my money is at.
Target?
I'm hoping a Target because Central Oahu does not have our Target game. We got to go Kapolei,
You know what I want?
No.
And this is maybe kind of ridiculous.
The Trader Joe's.
Oh, of course.
Which never going to happen, but
of course.
you could dream.
Have you eaten at Paniolo's?
Yes.
Bruh. I could eat Paniolo's.
That's like Chipotle, right? Like
it's like Chipotle, but it's better. It's Hawaii's Chipotle.
What?
Oh, it's better than...
I mean, I've only been there once, so...
Have you been there, Kenji? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good, huh?
Well, okay, so going to have like the whole business park area.
Yeah.
And then in the condos, on the other side, like in the middle of the condos is like a whole... Kind of like kaka'ako kind.
Really?
Yeah.
Like salt?
Yeah, kind of like a salt. Like they're going to have like that type of... stuff. It's like the goal is, there's like the park in the middle with a little bandstand for like community hula, whatever. And then
does anyone find it ironic? Does anyone find it ironic? Go to the double one.
What?
Does anyone find it ironic that Mahi is going, like they're going to have the
Whatever,
hula, like she's actually doing hula while
That's
she's...
just how I talk.
They're going to have the...
Anyway,
hula.
like I was saying, go back to the single just on me. There we go. But yeah, like they're going to not flex units, not going to have flex units, but like commercial downstairs and residential upstairs, like that kind of stuff.
That's
so
cool.
There's actually going to be cool stuff there that I don't think many people know about. And I feel like it's very early. Like they haven't activated all of that stuff yet, but we do them a disservice by not mentioning how much stuff there's going to be there because it's boring right now, for sure. And you're going to be bored for a few years.
Should I go back to my screen? Kind of talk today. Can you go back to my screen, Kenji? This is the freeway, right here.
Is it?
Is that the freeway?
Yeah.
That's H2. So right now, where's the cell? Oh, so this is an old drone shot. They used drone shot from, that's that day?
But it's more this way, yeah.
No, but isn't the sales office over here?
No, it's more this way.
Oh, I see. Oh, because this is where you guys were. Oh, so it's way over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of my screen where you can't see, those are like the perimeter lots that have I always talk on the channel with the West Oahu mountain views.
Yeah.
I would consider buying one of those.
Yeah.
Because I want to just look at the West Oahu mountains, and it's like a Nature's Valley bar.
Just kind of like lord over the gulch up there.
The gulch.
The gulch.
Yeah, I would want to. All right. Should we pivot to some of this condo stuff?
Sure. Let's see if there's
we have a question. Oh, yeah. I didn't plug. Put your questions, comments, likes. I challenge you to subscribe. I know that I watch a handful of YouTube channels and haven't subscribed to them. And we probably have 5x the viewers, individual viewers than actual subscribers. So unique viewers, I think YouTube statistics labels them as.
Raider Girl. Just saying aloha and freaking love y'all. Derek, I sent you some pics from Mendocino to your messenger when we were up there a couple weeks ago.
You did?
You got to check that stuff.
In my Facebook?
It says messenger. That's usually what that means, right?
Yeah.
Matt, is the housing market going down?
Oh, look. That's...
No, you gotta accept it for it.
No, I know, but like Instagram does a better job, which I deleted Instagram from my phone.
From your phone?
Yeah, from my phone.
Okay.
But Instagram does a better job of saying like, you have a request.
Of like
On
funneling
Facebook,
things
you
to
just
you.
don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't see it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, those are amazing pictures of Mendocino. I went in that area when I was up there. That's dope. Yeah. When I posted a picture of Mendocino when I was up there, it's like north of the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. Like you're on the way to Humboldt on the ocean side. And my friend, I don't know if you met Matt, my bodyboarder friend, Matt.
No, we didn't meet. The one from Maui?
No. He went to high school with me. But anyways, he goes, where you stay? Big Island.
Oh, really?
posting pictures of
I
Mendocino.
was actually going to say, that looks kind of like tropical.
It's cold, though.
It's
that
giving
water is
tropical.
cold. It might give tropical, but you touch it and it gives hypothermia.
Oh, pretty quick.
Okay.
We only have one other question.
Okay, what's the other question?
Is the housing market going down? I feel like this is a good segue.
This is a good segue, Matt. So, is the housing market going down? I saw a national statistic that said home prices fell in the last month or two more in a 60-day period. You know, statistics, you can always find something to create the storyline you want, right? But it was saying that home prices had fell on a national scale in the last couple of months as interest rates raised to combat inflation. We may or may not we're going to get some kind of interest rate movement tomorrow, probably in a negative way, because what is it tomorrow? There's like the jobs report's getting stated. CPI
report.
Consumer Price Index. But usually when there's movement coming, they respond negatively to prepare for it. So did rates not move yesterday and today in preparation for the CPI rollout tomorrow? Rates have been negative in the last week.
Meaning
so
higher.
It could be that they go down tomorrow, depending on what the CPI numbers are.
Like if we overcompensated for it.
Unlikely. He's saying if inflation comes in a lot lower than expected, you could get an interest rate deduction tomorrow. So dramatic, he's saying. So as a buyer, should you lock today or should you lock tomorrow? It's a case-by-case basis. However, I would rather lock today, and then if rates go down, because here's the thing, when you lock your interest rate, let's call it 6.5%. And then tomorrow rates go down to 6, and you could have gotten 6. Assuming you can re-app with another line, get your loan broker to some other lending entity, I just re-app with someone else and get that 6. But I'd rather lock in the 6.5 now in case it goes to 7. So for a lot of people, they haven't experienced this because from 2000, I don't know, maybe 12 to 19 or something, we weren't in this volatile interest rate market where it's going up and down so much so often. We were like 4.5, 4.75 for ages, it seemed like. And then now things are different. So these are things to talk about when you come in and do a consult with us.
Yeah.
And consult's kind of premature, but it allows us to kind of really just like to display our knowledge and to ease any concerns you may have. But you can't lock in a rate. You can't lock in a rate until you have an executed purchase contract. There are lenders out there that say, well, I have your rate locked and it's good for 30 days. That is a tool for retention to keep you with them. And if they have air quotes, locked your rate early, it's because it's a high rate that has buffer for market movement. So there are 5 elements you need, I believe. I'm not a lender, but 5 elements you need to...
and one is a purchase contract.
It's
executed purchase contract. Yep.
5 elements you need to lock a rate and start a file, and one of them is the executed purchase contract. But back to, is the market crashing?
Well,
I'm not
crashing.
super bullish and confident to say absolutely not, but for condos specifically in Hawaii specifically, we're
seeing a correction.
I haven't looked at the historical data to see what.
I don't think that's I want it to be a more negative word than correction, but less negative than collapsing. What's the happy medium between those two words? Adjustment.
Correction. Collection. Collapsion. Kalapa market. Here's the thing. Insurance is affecting the entire real estate industry.
Not just here. Yeah.
Not just here.
Yeah.
It seems as though it's affecting it more in Hawaii because our proximity to the Lahaina fires. And all of this stems from insurance companies having, whether actually or whether perceived,
Underinsured.
losses on their books or just dwindling reserves. There have been more natural catastrophes and things happening globally, not just here. So here, the building fell in Miami, floods in Texas, tornadoes, hurricanes. There have been more recently than in past times. So
and you couple that with all the inflation and property prices we've had over the COVID bubble, and here we are.
And here we are. Yeah, so things are worth more because of this big run we had in 2020 to 2022. And then come to find out people were underinsured.
To begin with.
And then insurance providers want to pull out. There is so much nuance to this that it would probably take a 3-hour seminar to peel back all the layers.
Then a couple days later, that would change probably.
And I'm not an insurance person, one. But here's an interesting fact, another flex. When we were in that meeting and we were, I say emotions were flying. It was calm,
it wasn't
but
like
I'm saying
heated thing, but it's a very.
There were times of excitement.
Yeah.
But what do we do with this? Or this will solve this problem, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things D said, he's like, it's frustrating because we'll talk to the listing agent and they just have no idea what we're talking about.
Right.
I made it a point to him. There's no humble way for me to say this, but we're a little more, especially collectively as a group, when you're throwing all of us in a pot, we're a little more obsessed and inquisitive. And if there's 10,000 agents on this island, we all agree there's maybe 50 or less that understand
what's going on
in the level that we understand it. Now, disclaimer, that doesn't mean for every building we know the answers and we are in full knowing of every issue for every building. Because that would be a liability for me to come on here and say I know everything about everything. But if needed or if put into standard practice for the entire industry, we know how to find out.
Yeah.
We know how to FAFO. And so we could find out. But anyways, so what's happening with insurance? Insurers are pulling out. We're discovering that buildings were underinsured.
The level of scrutiny with which
that's a big thing.
Insurance is being looked at and the different elements in the insurance, like things are being added to the list that makes something a big deal that couple weeks was not a big deal.
Yeah. So, for example, this is a building. We were in escrow on said building. Or we can just say the name of it. What?
Punahou Tower.
Punahou Tower. We were in escrow on Punahou Tower, moving forward with some clients. And about 2/3 of the way through, the loan couldn't go through. And we had pre-vetted the things we knew. Like lender and agents had looked at the things they could look at. But this new thing came up and all of a sudden the loan couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So we spent 90 minutes to 2 hours vetting it out for our clients. Before we call our clients, we want to have turned over as many rocks as we could. And so one of the things we looked at, well, who was the last person to close with a conventional loan in that building? Who was the loan written under? And we have this tax system. We can go in and see like, where's the mortgage with, and it was with a certain national line. And we not only called the people here locally that did that deal on the buy side, but then we tried to push it through that national line. And they said, oh yeah, we can't lend on that building anymore.
Oh yeah,
like you guys closed the loan 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago, we weren't looking at that.
Yeah, 6
and now
weeks
we
ago,
are.
we weren't looking at that.
Right, so.
And so you might be asking, well, what is that? And if you have questions, stack them up. That is
insurance deductible.
Insurance deductibles in a condo building. If there are, here, I need my like water bottles. We'll use this.
Oh, okay.
Is this going to mess up the sound,
Yeah,
Kench?
probably.
Is this mess up the All right. So let's say these are two halves of a building. Can you see me in here? Okay, yeah, you can see it. Let's say these are two halves of a building. And let's say there's a water leak that leaks and goes down half the stack. So out of 200 units, 100 of them get water. Well, when events happen and you have to tap into insurance, there is a deductible.
Yeah, and that can be per unit
or per occurrence.
or per occurrence.
And so what does per unit and per occurrence mean? Per occurrence means if some portion of the building experiences a flood, the whole building, through reserves or however HOAs work, pay for the deductible amount and then get the insurance working and take care of the percentage of units that were affected, take care of the 100, or the 50 out of 200 or whatever. And everyone shares the cost in that. And you might think, well, I live on the dry side of the building, so I don't like that. But it makes it better for insurance because there's spread risk across the building, right? Because imagine, let's say the person in the penthouse over here, this dirty, rich, mean person, just kidding. So, got drunk, took a bath, fell asleep in the bath, and it just overflowed, and it affected 100 units. Well, 99 units, it's not their fault. It's this one guy's fault. And so if you had to help pay because you're on the dry side of the building, well, the other 99 people wasn't their fault either.
Now,
that's per occurrence. If it's per unit, each of these 100, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, all the way down to the first floor, each of those owners have to pay the deductible.
They have to exhaust all of their deductibles.
So 100 dominoes have to fall. All of the deductibles have to kick in before the insurance kicks in.
Yeah.
And if that amount is too high, it would make sense that somebody not going to pay, right? Like somebody don't got the money or just isn't interested in paying. There's absentee owners in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Somebody not going to pay, right? So now all of a sudden underwriting is looking at that and saying, hey, that's exposure. That's a liability for us.
Yeah.
Because there's no way 99 dominoes are going to fall. If I remove one domino from a stack of 99, all of a sudden the second 50, they don't fall.
Right.
If I remove the 49th domino.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what they want to see for lending on these buildings is per occurrence. Because let's say that equals 100 grand total. If you collectively share it in association fees, it's going to get paid, like high likelihood, right? And so,
or what, 5% or less, right?
And so if it is per owner, if it's per unit, the deductible needs to be less than 5% of the premium. It's either 5% or less than 5%. I don't know.
I think it might be 5% or less.
5% or less.
Don't quote us on that.
In any which case, yeah. And turns out this building,
it was not.
And come to find out, 8 out of 9 of the buildings that our team spent 20 to 30 hours investigating.
By our team, we mean Aiden. Thank you, Aiden.
By our team, we mean Aiden.
Yeah.
Who is maybe the most, unless someone was prior insurance or some unique, like prior insurance attorney doing real estate agent or something, no one on the island probably knows this better than Aiden.
Yeah.
And in terms of the real estate agents,
yeah.
I don't know. That's my personal claim. A little biased, admittedly. But anyways, so that's a new thing that all of a sudden they look for. So now if you're going to go get a loan on a condo, by we, I mean me, you, the lender, putting it on the seller preferably. In escrow, it has to be discovered or potentially prior. It's to be situational. Whether or not they have full hurricane insurance.
Yeah.
If they do, if they don't. Do they meet city ordinances A, B, C under their insurance policy? Many do, but some do not.
And now
this deductible thing. Is it per occurrence, per unit? How much is the deductible? And you would think they used to look at this, but apparently they haven't been looking at this for like 15 years or something.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, that's like on our hit list right now, but I mean, like we said, the difference between like our client being able to close and not, the other person closed not even like a month and a half ago or something. It was like a month, something like a short amount of time for it to be like fine, and then all of a sudden it no longer meets the requirements.
Yeah.
So something as fluid and liquid as this is right now, like ask us again, like, you know, a month from now, maybe it's different, but
I'm going to say something that most team leaders and agents would not say, especially out in public. But I'm going to explain why it's a good thing. So when we're looking at this and we're looking at buyers who are buying in this threshold, in fact, we're looking at these specific buyers B&A, first initials. When we're looking at B&A, we had to explain to them, hey, at some point we have to decide, how do we approach this intelligently? Because basically we can't spend 500 hours to make $500, right? It just, it's not something we can do. It doesn't make business sense logistically, financially. It doesn't make sense. We're not currently at a point of tapping out. I have ideas for solutions, and that is look at building structures. Turns out that if a building is concrete in structure, both foundation, the frame, etc., there's a higher likelihood that, one, they can get a loan, and that if maintenance fees are going to be increasing, which I haven't touched on, to correct for all this, it will increase less because insurance is less on those buildings versus steel and wood frame buildings. So one, we can focus on concrete, but that's one solution. If this becomes a 500 hour, a 1,000 hour thing, I mean, again, you got to be fair. Think about how many work hours are in a month or in a quarter. And so if this becomes a super, super exhaustive thing, how can we get the sellers to do this level of vetting for us? When and where do we schedule inspections to try to save you money versus not? We're putting together some flow charts for our internal operations on how to approach these things. But right now there's no industry standard because I would say half the industry is not even aware.
Totally unaware.
Of the half that's aware, a lot of people don't know how to approach it. We're really at the forefront of trying to solve this thing. And it may be that in 6 or 9 months, we have new disclosures that have been added to standard forms for real estate agents across the board. Right now, we don't have that. So right now, there's all this vetting and administrative, like investigative work that has to be done.
We couldn't even do a disclosure because it's too like it's changing too much too rapidly. Like you couldn't even make a disclosure at this point.
And so why is it a good thing? Why? So the reason why I feel vulnerable saying that on here is some people may perceive that as, is Derek saying that he doesn't want me to call him and his team to do real estate because they're too busy? No. What I'm saying is we're compassionate, thoughtful, very skilled business people in real estate that look at how does it best make sense to approach this problem, because it is a problem. If you're not buying single family, this is an inherent problem.
It's just it is a big part of what's going on right now.
And if you're buying without certain skepticism or speculation that is healthy, like, it's even a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So by me stating this, it's advantageous, and it's just better for you. So if you are going to buy a townhome or a condo, better to be partnered with and in step with a team that is trying to solve it before the rest of the industry for the most part. There's a few exceptional people out there who are probably doing what we're doing, maybe even ahead of us, who knows, but not many, if at all. You'd rather be in step with us than not, is my point. And that may mean that I need to go into my brokerage, into the world, and partner with a new agent, a brand new agent who has more time to vet some things out and work on some things. And Mahe, myself, Aiden can come in for the most skilled portion, kind of like the surgeon coming in after they've prepped the surgical area type of situation. That may be a solution.
Yeah.
A solution may be if you're on the threshold of townhome, I have other clients who I mentioned on a past live as well. Grams, if you're watching, shout outs to you guys. If you're on the threshold of townhome and single family, you'd been looking at townhome because you are a Dave Ramsey, frugal, live below your means type person, then we've taken pride. It's part of our mantra and our ethos not to push you up in price.
Yeah.
But
I may challenge you now.
Let's say you're like, well, a townhome's $750 with a maintenance fee. I could break into single family for $850, $900. Well, extra $100 to to 150,000 in loan.
It's like $600 in HOA right there.
Could be $600 to $900-ish in monthly payment.
Doubles the next year.
But if your $600 HOA is going to double to $1,200,
then you may as well be in that $850.
Wouldn't you have rather been in single family?
Yeah, right.
And now, is this full?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it still is. Well, now, say you're looking at single family. You know what I mean, Ken? So you look at single family versus townhome or condo. Mm-hmm. And condo values are doing this because of all of this shit that's happening. Mm-hmm. Single family homes rise at a little higher rate. Mm-hmm. You will have thanked us for pushing into single family. That's not feasible for everyone. So we were just talking about, do we tell no one to buy a condo ever?
If they want to be in home ownership, condo is what their option is here in Hawaii. That's just the reality of it.
I mean, if you're buying anything, let's assume you take, let's make it easy. Mm-hmm. Let's take Eva and West off the table.
Okay. So
if you're buying anything under 800, you're not buying single family.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you're anywhere 7 something down to 300 something thousand, 300 to 700 something thousand, which a lot of people are, you don't have another option. Right. So now, do you rent forever? Well, if you better believe if someone owns this condo and their maintenance fee was $1,000 and now it's $2,000, do you think your rent's going to stay the same? Or do you think they're going to keep it and you're not going to have to move? They're either raising the rents and or selling the condo. There's no, $1,000, I'm good, I'll just eat it.
Yeah.
That's not a landlord. They're not in the business of doing that. So getting out of the rental world and into the ownership world is still very much an advantageous thing for you to have some level of control, consistency, and future outlook. Mm-hmm. Also, wealth building. You're still paying down principal, irregardless.
Tax benefits,
Tax benefits to the interest payments you're making. Potential improvements, maybe less so in condos,
but the level of
claiming a home office, like there are benefits to home ownership that you just can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, but it's not so cut and dry like it used to be before. The level of awareness and scrutiny, it's not just like buy a house, everybody knows, own a house, and that's all you have to do. You know?
I stopped working with a guy who said, I'll get anybody to buy. Man, I can let them talk to me. I will talk anybody into buying. And I was like, well, what if they're not here for very long? Mm-hmm. And I've told this story on the channel before. Forgive me if you've already heard it. But this guy's like, Derek, I sold a house to a guy 18 months. He's only going to be here 18 months. I was able to convert him. And I was like, you and me aren't the same, bro.
Yeah.
And now I was a nothing burger then. Mm-hmm. I had sold one house. Mm-hmm. And he was like kind of irritated that I'd even asked for the coffee appointment. And didn't take much time, kind of walked out a little early. I got to go. Now, hey, let me know if you need anything. I'd love to work with you. Of course, this person's on the lending side. Mm-hmm. I'd love to, if you need anything. I'm like, okay.
No, we already established
we're
not the same.
Yeah. And so, in summary, should you not buy? That's not necessarily true, but we definitely need to approach it with more scrutiny. Look at your situation, your holding time, your exits. Mm-hmm. We've always needed to consider those things.
But now even more so.
And a bit differently.
And a little bit differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's that. That's the whole Derek's losing his mind. We've
been losing our mind.
Usually on Tuesdays we're in our team meeting and or doing some training like this. And Kenji's making the thumbnail for this. And he's like, what are we going to talk about today? I was like, just put Derek's losing his mind. He already lost his hair. Let's put Derek's losing his mind.
Okay.
We got questions?
Yes. What are the drawbacks for purchasing leasehold properties versus fee simple? My aunt told me never to buy leasehold, not sure why.
Yeah.
And then we can tie in the second question. How does a fee simple work? How does fee simple work when buying a home in Hawaii? So we'll do this again. I feel like we could make like a little blurb about this because enough people ask us about this. We should have like a short little hitter, midweek hitter, like fee simple versus leasehold.
Yeah.
We should. But please go ahead, do our visual thing.
All right, land, house, or condo. Mm-hmm. Condo is a better example. So 100 units in here, sitting on 100 acres, let's just say, make it easy. If it's fee simple, each condo owner owns 100th, let's assume they're all the same size, whatever. You own 100th of the building and you own 100th of the land. So you own an acre and you're 1,000 square foot. If it's leasehold, this building sits on leased land, no different than a commercial lease for this or you renting a house, whatever. You rent basically the land, oftentimes a long period of time, 99 years or 50 years or something like that. So you see a lot of leaseholds like, oh, there's 20 years left. There's 30 years left. There's 8 years left. And as it gets less and less and less, the four walls that you control, I say own, but the four walls that you control, your 1/100th of this building, it becomes worth less and less and less because this lease is expiring. Then when it's up for renewal, it's going to cost more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so you want to own, when you own real estate, the dirt and the four walls.
Yeah.
When it's leasehold, you only own the four walls. I like to say you kind of control them rather than own, but you own the four walls, and the dirt is on a lease. And that's not there's this country song. It's called Buy Dirt because they're not making more dirt, right? No one says buy four walls.
Yeah.
They say buy dirt. So inherently, if you don't own the dirt, it's a depreciating asset.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between fee simple and leasehold.
And I think just layman's terms, like probably the easiest way to digest that is that it's a depreciating asset.
It's like owning a trailer.
Yeah, it's, real estate is one of the only things that when you buy it, it's going to go up in value over a long period of time. Whereas like
typically.
this
not
always,
typically.
but one of those things.
Yeah.
Whereas this wedding ring, you buy it and then the next day it's worth half of what you bought it for,
A little flex.
And then this, maybe not this one specifically, but,
flex.
But a leasehold, you just know automatically that it's going to depreciate.
So the only times we recommend buying leasehold, and I've actually never, well, you can buy a leasehold and convert the lease.
Oh yeah, if there's a fee available.
If the fee is available, you can convert it so that you own the proportionate interest in the land. That's not really buying leasehold. And you people out there, I don't know, that sounded bad. For our fans out there who see like a $200,000 single family or a $200,000 condo and all the rest of them are $600. What a great deal.
That's leasehold.
To convert that lease, the $200,000 is probably
more.
like $400,000.
Yeah.
So
and then the effort that it takes to convert it, sometimes
lender, that's more lender. They can handle it.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. But for me, I don't know. I might just buy the fee simple one instead of go through all of that,
Yeah. The too good to be true deals, when you go to coreteamhawaii.com and register and look at homes, the deals that look too good to be true, they're leaseholds, and there's no creative way around it.
Yeah. I can almost say with certainty whenever I get something and it's like really nice and it's $200, I'm like, I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm like 99% sure that that's a leasehold.
It's a leasehold, yeah. So the only times we would recommend buying it, if you are elderly and you don't want to pass on anything, like you're going to give your wealth to a charity and you don't want to pass it on to family or anything like that, and you just want to control some four walls in Hawaii for the next, you're 70 and there's a 30-year lease on the land, pretty good bet you're good to go, right? That might be a good situation because you're not worried about building wealth anymore and it'd be cheaper. Or I don't know of this, but in theory, if there was a leasehold that cash flowed like crazy because it were on the beach and you could just get insane Airbnb rental income, then sure. If you tell me I can buy a $500,000 condo that's going to depreciate down to zero, but I can rent it for $100,000 a night, I'm going to buy that. Now that's egregious, right? That's outrageous.
I mean, I've run the numbers on some of those and they never good.
Work.
Yeah, they were never good.
They don't work, yeah. So in theory, I'd buy a leasehold for that too, but that doesn't happen either. So really, it's just like an elderly person who's not building wealth.
Yeah, and doesn't wish to bequeath it upon any of their family after they're gone. Bequeath.
Okay. Oh, it sounds bad to me.
So immature. Okay, any other questions?
Any other questions? A lot.
Oh, there is.
Okay.
Hudson. Any updates for Ho'opili? They have new floor plans for the new builds on D.R. Horton website. Molehu and starting prices up several days ago. Took them down. Oh, interesting. They were up and then down?
No, yeah. So we said that in a prior video. I think think there might be a Ho'opili release.
That means
soon.
that there's going to be a drop soon.
They done that one time in the past where they kind of put some info out, pulled it back, kind of like lifted up the,
I don't know where you're going with that.
skirt a little,
I was going to say the veil or something.
the veil,
the curtain.
Kind of a little teaser. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Ho'opili release in there will be lottery soon. And I can't promise you that if you call us, we're going to get you a house in Ho'opili. But I have some creative ways where we have been first or close to first in line. And we do our best. Again, we're totally reasonable about these things, right? So I can't have Aiden go camp at Ho'opili for 2 weeks, unknowing if he's, sleeping in a tent, not showering, unknowing if we're, it's going to make sense. But I have paid people to sleep there. I do have an agent that lives like right next to the sales office that has held a spot for me, so.
And for me, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, for us, I should say. Bye. All right, what other questions do we have? Jim and...
Work for a mortgage company. Rates went down slightly today. Tomorrow, who knows?
Oh.
Yeah. So they saw an improvement, a slight improvement today, but who knows? Tomorrow is a big, what if? I don't know. I want to purchase a condo with low HOA somewhere in Hawaii, but I've just been sitting on my cash till things look like better deals. That wasn't a question. It was just a statement.
If there were a question, it would be...
Should I wait?
If you're all cash and you're going to buy a condo...
I think I go and wait.
Yeah, chill a little.
Yeah.
In general, people who sit out miss the train.
Yeah.
In
generally speaking, yes.
Yeah. And then it's hard. Like for me, my real estate journey over the last 5 years, like I bought a flip. I bought a moldy, disgusting home. We made it beautiful, sold it, turned a good profit. Then after a little bit of time, I bought a house. And it was scary at the time and didn't feel like an amazing deal, but in hindsight, it looks amazing. Bought a townhome. Was afraid, was scary, and then turned out to appreciate. Today, when I look at buying again, I'm like, frick. I have to remind myself, Derek, principally, you understand, buy, it's time in the market, not timing the market. But I'm like, dang, some FOMO.
Yeah.
So if you sit on the sidelines, generally you don't jump in the river. But in your situation, I might...
An all-cash buyer in the condo market
I might chill for a minute.
Maybe.
Depending... Or if it were the right condo, I'd pounce. If it were the right, probably concrete structure.
I was just going to say. Yeah. One of those guys.
Depends.
Yeah.
Depending on how much cash you have, I have some clients looking at selling a thing in Waikiki that I know will never go out of style.
Oh, really?
In fact, I should call those clients.
Okay, Hawaiian Ninja. Which island would you suggest for a mainland Hawaiian who decides to sell all the assets worth a high 7 figures and wants to move back?
High 7 figures. It's like 9 million?
Sure, yeah.
Well, it's which island? That doesn't...
it really like what kind of lifestyle you want when you come home.
Knowing that you have purchasing power might affect things a little, but more so, it's just individual. It's just like anyone else.
Yeah.
Do you want to be isolated?
Right. Like how hard are we going? Like you're a mainland Hawaiian, you're saying, right? So there is that level of like, okay, I'm just going to go all in and go Molokai and I'm going to go Big Island. Or do we want to go to Oahu where there's more of the things that you're used to?
Yeah. Are you mainland? Like you live middle of nowhere, Montana?
Or
and Big Island would be fine?
Or are you like Manhattan?
Or you live Vegas?
Yeah.
And work on the strip?
Yeah.
Because Oahu would probably, work better.
Yeah. So it really depends on you.
It
really depends. But you could probably afford any of the islands, if that's the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Derek is losing his mind. So dramatic. 100%. Super dramatic. All info on point. This has been on my mind for a while, how to resolve these. Thanks to the awareness, keeping up with your live chats. Keeping up with your live chats. Okay. Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks, Courtney.
Is the fee simple buyout added into the final price on the home, or is the whole thing by itself? Do you mean like the leasehold fee simple? It's the market the leasehold price, and then separately below there in the details will be how much the fee is available for. So it's not going to be like up front for you to see. You'd have to like ask somebody.
Yeah, so I was looking at a building in town, Executive Center, and it would be, I don't know, it was like $200,000 for the unit, but then $400,000 for the fee, and that all gets tied into one loan, because they convert it through escrow, and then they do a loan on the fee simple finished product, you know, like slightly in advance, you know, a day or two in advance technically. So yeah.
Larry Tran, dovetailing off the leasehold discussion, what percentage of the time have you seen the expiration of the leasehold actually screw over the owner with higher rents? Well, we don't really see that in practice that much at all. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't know the data. Like
I don't know how to answer it because we just aren't leasehold experts.
Yeah, we don't really operate too much in the leasehold realm. Yeah. So
there's a handful of things I'll tell you we aren't experts in, and leasehold's one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Feels like the market is pretty slow. Very few buyers out there. I feel like I don't
necessarily, because here's the thing: we have a lot of buyers, and we aren't winning every situation. We are losing to superior offer a certain situation. Perfect example: Manoa single family.
I would say it's almost. It feels in practice the opposite. I feel like we're in competition more, and I feel like the buyer load is heavy right now.
$500,000 down, right? And Manoa, and we still lost.
Yes, and that was a second strong offer that we wrote to that we didn't win with.
Yeah, $500,000 down, and we still lost.
I mean, $500,000 down. Can you? I mean, yeah, it's just so not in our sphere right now. No, it doesn't feel like that for us right now. Who has the money for these insane prices when wages are so shit? I agree.
It's tough.
Yeah. I agree. Seemed like a few months ago it was just as expensive, but the issue was low inventory.
It's still when it comes down to it, Aiden and I were buying creatine yesterday, and the guy at Muscle Inc. Shout out to Muscle Inc. If you live in Hawaii, go to Muscle Inc. He was like, "So what? When the market gonna crash? Gotta crash, right?" And I'm like, "Uncle, it should have crashed when rates went from 2.25 to 7, right?"
Right. Yeah.
But that's been part of the problem combating inflation is no matter how much they raise interest rates and try and create a bit of an economic contraction, you have jobs reports coming out stronger than they're intending them to. Jobs are remaining resilient, and buyers.
And people are spending a lot of money.
People still spending, and then buyers. There's still this many buyers for this many houses. And is that a population thing? Is that a overall epidemiology is not the word. Is it an overall, bigger study? I don't know. But we have more buyers than we have houses, especially when it's a desired thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are we all caught up on questions?
We're all caught up.
Okay, if we're all caught up on questions, let's wrap that one up. That was a nice, on-point, efficient one.
Thank you guys for asking all your questions today. We love to have the questions come through. Thank you guys for participating. Give us more questions. Load us up for the next lives. That's what we want to do. We don't want to just talk at you. We want to actually interact with you guys. Sometimes it's not about, maybe you're not ready for a consult. Maybe you're not looking to buy right now. That's totally fine. You can still have your questions and be in preparation for that. And this is what those lives are for. We want to be able to answer as much questions as we can.
Well, here's the thing, too. If you're looking to sell, that's an important conversation I want to have. If you may or may not be selling and you may or may not want to get off the ship before it sinks. I've talked about this on the channel previously. We had a person sell a condo, and when she came to us, I was like, you should probably hurry and do all these things. And then condo was pretty bad condition. I was like, you want to do at least these things. She's like, okay, I'm down to do it. I said, here's a contractor that's efficient. We'll get it done quick. He's not the cheapest, but when you do this handyman piecemeal thing, it may or may not save you money in the long run, but the run will be long. And the run was long, and then found herself in these association problems right when they first started to happen. if you need to have that conversation, please call us.
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation sooner rather than later. Dorave says, thanks for the great information. All right, guys, aloha. Mahi's going to a final walkthrough. Aiden just went to a final walkthrough. We got a bunch of clients to serve. Love you guys.